Thank you so much, and a very good evening to everyone out there. It's
Well
a true,
done.
true honor to be a part of this platform where I also celebrate women in leadership that touches lives. And this not just this platform, which kind of called me, is not just the success of women getting celebrated, but the stories, the struggles, the challenges, the resilience, and also the humanity that we showcase to the world, and I guess would inspire many like us, and the
Yes,
stories behind those successes. You know what?
great.
Every successful person, and especially when it is a woman, always has two stories. The one that world sees, the smile that we wear, yeah, and the
Yes,
one that is so silent that we have survived. Today,
yeah.
I'm here to probably be vulnerable and share a little of both. I hope the story also creates examples for others to take some lessons and start dreaming big and believing in those dreams. So, am I audible, loud and clear, just
You are
to get
loud
people?
and clear. You're audible. Thank you. Of course, you're beginning to see that you're going to have a very fantastic time because she has already started dropping nuggets. So now you said there are two stories that every woman has, the silent one and then the one behind the smile. Can you take us through let's go back to the beginning of your story, both stories, your journey, and share defining moments of what has brought you here today. Thank you so much. All right, Sshaaon, take us away.
Thank you once again, Ibelema. And it's this platform actually, when I was thinking, when I just signed in, it took me back, to long 25 years back, even another, say, maybe 10, 15 years down the line, where I started seeing myself once again. I belong from a very small, educated, middle class family in India, where education, empathy, and values, these are the three cornerstones, and that is rooted generation after generation. If I have to tell you, give an example, my grandfather was a very respected academician and a mentor to many, and he always dreamt of the legacy getting forwarded, somebody from the family to take it ahead. I'm glad that maybe Almighty has chosen me for that. When it comes to growing up, I was always an outlier. I never resembled the kind of persona my siblings were having. I was always thinking out of the box. I used to dream big, and my siblings and friends used to laugh at me at times that, oh my goodness, this is impossible. And from that small human being I was, with a very big dreams, this word impossible never existed in my dictionary, not even today. When I tell this to my daughter, I always say that. Okay? So it's basically what I felt is strong support system is what enables a woman to be where he or she wants to be. And speaking about, my grandfather was one such person who has instilled that faith on me, self belief. Later, I got my role model in my father. He always, I remember, he used to accompany me wherever I went, be it a competitive exam and later on career in interviews and all. While he showed me that, you know, as a lady, and we belong to a patriarchal society in India, the society is patriarchal, and the only way that a woman can assert herself is by being educated and in being self reliant and independence. So that's what would give a woman dignity, confidence, and a voice of her own. And those words are deeply etched and stayed with me till date. While my mother was a silent homemaker who taught me empathy, and balancing and kindness. When I look back today, I realize that whoever I have, I was not built alone. It was shaped by my family, my support system, and people who quietly believed in me long before the world did. So that's my humble beginning. And as Ibilema said, that I believe that when you dream big and you have self belief and you have the blessings of Almighty and your family, you nothing is impossible.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I think I really like the line where you said impossible doesn't exist in your dictionary.
No.
That's such a legacy to pass on, and having a strong support system enables you to succeed. And I really love the story of your grandfather. I don't know why I'm partial to grandparents as well, but I feel like there's just a lot of wisdom that they pass on. This is such an amazing story. So, was there a time, can you tell us if there was a time where life demanded a version of you that wasn't part of I see that it demanded more of you and then it revealed like a deeper part of you that you didn't know existed. Can you share with us what that was like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I joined a profession, like you mentioned, which is in India, it's a profession dominated again by males,
Oh,
the medical
okay.
representatives, when I joined in 25 years back. And I was always the one who people used to look in awe, not in a very positive manner, but how come this lady is in this field? And some of the doctors that I used to meet, they used to even ask, leave aside my products for which I'm there. They used to even ask, how much salary are you drawing? Are your parents not able? That's how you come here. You know? So that's what, because they felt very difficult being a society where men dominated and in the profession where men dominated to accept. That's one. The first thing is asserting yourself. It is not about the identity of a father or a husband. It is about making myself. And I believe that women can exist in all spheres of life. And that's when I started speaking a lot about women and what women can do. Now, talking about challenges, there were challenges because I was into sales, but a major struggle, I would just to for the paucity of time, there was a moment in my life wherein I got married, and then I was feeling lot of challenge to balance my home expectations from a newlywed bride and a very tough sales life. I back then I was working with Pfizer, and Pfizer, I thank to this organization that they believed in women, and that's the only company perhaps where women were given a chance to work. Nevertheless, they have never treated us different from a men. The kind of sales pressure that we had, phenomenal. And when it came to a new bride,
Unpacking my
kind
phone.
of balancing home expectations
I'm
and
just
sales
unpack. I want to unpack.
expectation, it was a real grind. Soon after say another 2 to 3 years, I faced a challenge in terms of my mother who suffered from cancer for a month and he passed away. And you know what? That was the phase wherein I was just learning to cope, and I realized that I am also going to be a mother. And that was a period which shook me a lot. That was the time wherein my husband stood as a strong pillar, but then we also at the same time faced financial challenges. So it says that when bad time comes, everything comes together. The only thing that kept me going is the valuable lesson that I learned what is called resilience. I learned what is called adaptability. And most importantly, I learned the importance of support and allyship. So we actually held each other strongly. And then I found that what really matters is self belief, support, and allyship. So these are very, very powerful reasons that taught me resilience. So this lesson came handy in all spheres of my life, even today. So you see, the world is now knows what resilience is because of COVID and other calamities. And every one of us have faced this kind of challenges. And for me, the lesson started way back. Nevertheless, I also learned coming through family, tiding over this challenge that women can wear multiple hats. That's, I guess, a blessing. If you look at, I'm not going to demean any gentleman who might be here in the audience, but we women are blessed with multitasking. So that's also I learned that I can manage both home and my personal life and my professional life. Okay. And that's how my belief in possibilities even became stronger.
I've just been sitting and smiling because I'm relating your story from the beginning to where you are now and the challenges that have been there. And it's such an amazing story, especially because we live in a world where people do not, especially women, do not acknowledge openly, that they need help. As much as, yes, we can wear the multiple hats, we can adapt because of our roles and, gender wise. It's very rare to hear things like, my husband held me through this. And I want to celebrate all the men. Thank you for holding us through this because we couldn't have done it alone. But also, I'm really interested in, you know, when you said when bad times come, it's like everything comes all at once. How have you managed to deal with when progress in your work has been slow? When it seemed like, it wasn't really going the way you planned it to go, like you said earlier, and I'm really sorry about your mom. My foster mom had cancer, so I know what that can be. Um, and especially because she's the one you learned kindness from. I'm sure it would have been a
Absolutely.
difficult time, so we're really sorry about that. But how you mentioned resilience, how does it play out? How do you keep moving? What does resilience look like in real time, real life, with the kind of work that you do right now?
Awesome. I think that's one of the loveliest questions that I would like to even think and tell audience here. What made me going is I kept learning, and when I became a mother and I had a bigger lesson to leave, a legacy to leave. I'm also a mother of a girl child, okay? And the legacy that in our society, people, the girls or the boys, when they go to school, they are asked to talk about giving examples of parents. Always they talk about their father, the dad, the bread earner. I wanted to break this rhythm, so I wanted to be a role model wherein my girl can speak proudly about not only dad, but her mother. I think that kept me going, looking at her face that yes, I have to create something exemplary for her to beckon with and carry it forward. I think that's one. So I kept learning. When things slow down, another thing is I'm a firm believer of the timing and destiny. Keep doing the right things, keep touching lives, okay? And keep evolving. Lessons learned will never kind of backfire. They are going to be productive, they're going to give you fruits when the time is ripe. And like I said, there is nothing called impossible in my dictionary till now. So I kept dreaming big and I thought I had that self belief. And I felt that when the time is ripe, it is going to happen. And what kept me going is my family, my support system, and being a role model, definitely for my daughter. So, did I answer your question,
Yes,
Ibelema?
you did beautifully, actually. So what of us who don't have kids yet? You know, how would that look for, how would that look like for someone who doesn't yet have a family, is going through something challenging, and they have to be resilient, and it's almost like they don't have a reason like you did. You know, you want your daughter to be proud. It's very interesting that you're an outlier that breaks rhythm. I wrote that because I'm just going to keep that somewhere as something I remember you by. But for someone in the chat room who is going, okay, I don't really have, someone that's not
Absolutely.
yet anyway. Yeah. So what
I
would you
think
say?
absolutely. So I feel everybody has a purpose of life. For me, maybe I want to be a role model, wanted to be a role model until now for my daughter and many other women, and want the female flag to fly high. For
Mm,
others who may not have a family, there can be other reasons. So, one thing I'm also very passionate about is animals. So, even we run animal shelters, we rescue animals. In our country, there are street dogs. They are called, like people call them street dogs. We don't like you. So that's purpose orientation. One is this. The other one is whatever I earn, a portion I would like to always give back. That can be somebody's purpose as well. Somebody's purpose can be not only family, but also maybe putting examples in front of the world that this is also possible. It is all about purpose orientation. When there is a very strong purpose, you get that energy and intent to do more, to give more. I would also like to talk about the theme of this Women's Day, give to gain, right?
yeah,
if you
yes,
if you see this, give to gain, so it talks about giving back. So we shouldn't only think about ourselves, our selfish desires. We humans are very well known for that, but we also have a responsibility of giving back. I think that can be also kind of a purpose for others to do something exemplary and set examples for others to follow. We are very fortunate. We are here, we are linked to the internet, and there are countries, the third world countries, like from where I belong, India and other places. There are nooks and corners of 3 tier, 4 tier towns where people do not have this privilege. So
yes,
when we create forums, platforms, and create ripple effect by creating consciousness awareness, that's how we spread our message that women has to be given what is due to them. They are
mm,
powerful. People say that we are equal. What I say, we are not equal. Not equal definitely when it comes to physical part of it. We are not
yes,
kind of built that strong, but
yeah,
we are also not equal. We are even superior in terms of our mental power, our resilience, our multitasking. Yet we are so soft. We are the nurturers, we are mothers, and we are affectionate. So this is a very good kind of a mix that Almighty has created, and it is our responsibility to give back. So that's how purpose orientation should be thought about, not only for family, but everybody has to have one thing that they should hold on to, and that is going to inspire them. One more thing that I would like to leave is do what you love. You know, that will never create boredom.
mm.
What I love is what I do as well. So that's one piece of maybe a suggestion that I would like to give to many youngsters here.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Awesome. Awesome. Please, if you're in the comment section, I need hearts, I need likes. And also, we're going to be taking questions. So if you have questions, I would like that you drop them in the chat room. We'll take questions from there. Sean, thank you so much. There's so many things that I have picked up today. And we still have, some other questions to ask you. But I would like that if you are here and you have questions, so that when it's time to ask the questions, we're not waiting. You can just start to drop them now. Thank you, Ashanti. I see all your flowers. Thank you. If you're just joining, we have with us the beautiful outlier who breaks the rhythm of everything that you have ever met, Sshaaon, and she's been talking about her journey so far. I would give like a quick rundown. Sharon has her bent is in resilience, adaptability, purpose-driven legacy work that outlasts time, but with a balance as well, where she believes in a strong support system, people holding your hands, and having people learning from the wisdom of elders before you by the leading of the Almighty. I hope I summarized it quite well.
You did. Yes,
Yeah,
you did. You
great. We
did.
have a question in the comment section, and it says, "How were you able to deal with male bias in the early stages of your career? Because the medical field, like you said, was very male dominated, and you also were in a patriarchal type of society. So, is there any experience, one particular tool that stood out for you? I would like you to share that."
There are many, but I would choose. There was a time when I used to meet specialists like cardiovascular surgeons, and they're very busy. Their time to meet medical representatives were in the late evenings. And one
Oh,
such doctor is a very hard nut to crack, and he was not prescribing for me. And then the timing was 11:30 p.m. at night, and I was the only lady amongst 7, 8 gentlemen, and I was still waiting. When
oh,
my
wow.
turn came in, he said he was looking at his watch. He asked me, "How will you go back?" Back then, neither I had a car, and in India, we are a third world country that time. We were not that well off. So I was thinking maybe I will miss the last bus. I said,
Oh,
"Sir,
wow.
my staying back would keep you thinking about a woman, a lady who was still there at 11:30 p.m. alone amongst men, and that would say that we are equal." You know what? That speech that day, the next day when I went to the hospital, I saw my prescription started moving. So that's, I feel,
Oh,
a
wow.
moment of truth that I had. I could speak to him, I could see eye to eye and say that, hey, don't look back upon us. I would see how do I go back, but you better write and do your job. So there are many such things. I always used to feel ownership is something which comes from within, and Pfizer is an organization which has taught us respect for people. So many times I would ask that why would you ask about from where I come, what my father does, and how much salary do I draw? How does it matter to you? I'm here for
Mm.
a professional reason, and please give that kind of a respect for me. And that's how for everywhere where you face something, I think when you speak your mind, you be truthful and you stand strong for what you believe, people are bound to follow. I think that's what. And that there are a lot of challenges even today's date. you know Many men have still now unconscious bias. When they see a lady climbing up the ladder, they do not like it. But I feel that diamond is always known by its shine. So keep doing the right work, and right people, destined people, will look at you and you will be handpicked. That's my story, Ibelema.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so amazing and very inspiring as well. Um, so I think your formation from the very beginning and your family background plays a lot of roles, in your journey so far, your assertiveness, the audacity to, speak back, and put yourself in the face of the people. This is professional work and this is what we're going to be doing, and that has helped. So since we're speaking about your background and how it has played like a role, I have a question from Ayo, and he says that how would you have trained a male child?
Oh,
You
very
have
interesting.
Yes, because for you, your background played a lot of roles. Your grandfather was one of your major influencers. So you now, if you have a male child, how would you have trained a male child?
First of all, thanks to the question, and because whatever I would reply from my heart, it's going to be also inspire many mothers who have maybe sons. I think what the male talks now or feels now, the it's very much the kind of impression and learning that a mother instills. I do
Mm-hmm.
not have any gender bias, and I always tell my daughter that whatever be the gender, my love and my inspirations would be the same. But for those mothers who have male child, and if I would have been blessed, I from the very beginning would have also kind of teach all the lessons that the females are taught, like basics of the home course. In India, it is believed that even if a working woman is there, she is supposed to come back and cook. Why? As a male child, I would have trained them in those course, and nothing, no work is kind of stamped as a male or female. That's one. Second, very important, respect for people, respect for gender. Not only since a male, he would only respect a female, he would have to respect everyone. No bias for gender, no bias for religion, no bias for caste and creed. All are allies.
Mm-hmm.
Males, only the Y chromosome is what makes a male, but the X is common. So that's my answer to this.
All right, awesome. I hope she answered that question. Helen is saying, thank you so much, Ma, for these profound lessons. But what would be your advice to or counsel for a fresh graduate who just got into the corporate world and is trying to advance or grow one's career? And secondly, is there a balance between your career and your purpose, or it's the same thing?
Honestly speaking, I would first take the first question.
Okay,
Do
great.
what you love, okay? That's one. If you are in a profession which you don't love, ask yourself why you are not in the profession that you love. If you
Mm-hmm.
So that's important diagnosis. Then what qualifications or traits that your aspirational goal profession deserves? Where are you in that? If not, can you train yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Be always ahead of what the generation wants. Like for us now, AI comes very natural to you guys. So I have already done a course because I know that otherwise, if I don't upgrade myself,
Mm-hmm.
keep learning, there are people who are going to move past me. So always be equipped. Know what you
Okay.
want, do what gets you there, and always be ahead of what the world deserves, is my answer to the first question. Secondly, is there a perfect balance? Probably no. You know, if you have to be it's an utopia to ask for a balance work and life, but
Mm-hmm.
then balance is also 60-40 to me,
Yes.
sometimes interchangeable. But honestly speaking my heart out, there cannot be a perfect balance when you do justice to family and to career. Sometime
Mm.
or the other would take over, but then eventually the law of average. So, whatever you have done, does it balance it? You are able to maintain both the feedbacks that you get from both families as well as your professional life. That tells the story.
Mm. The feedback you get from your families and your professional life that will tell a story. That is so profound. Um, Helen, I hope you heard and you're taking notes. I really love the fact that you said do a diagnosis if you're not doing what you love, because I feel like a lot of people don't sit with it, especially when you're in a country where your life is planned out for you by your parents sometimes, or it is basically you do a course based on what is necessary to feed you. So you might get into that as
Absolutely.
well. Yeah, so you do what you love, take a diagnosis of where you are. If you're not doing what you love, then know what you want and then start the process to equip yourself in that area. The world is evolving and changing, and like you said, AI is here. They have more of an advantage because this is their time and their world. But equip yourself, keep learning, keep learning, always be a learner, and then the law of average, the feedback from your family, the feedback from your values, the feedback from the things that you love. Ayo asked, but we've answered that question. Your opinion regarding male children learning to cook. Ayo, if you had heard her earlier, she said if she had been privileged to be blessed with children, everybody is going to learn to cook.
Yes,
There
yes,
isn't a
absolutely.
specific role. No bias in the kitchen, no bias in cast or kind, no bias anywhere else. They are not, everybody can be a nurturer, everybody can be a chef. Food, the kitchen is for everybody, food, everybody eats food. They will go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ibalima. You spoke what I wanted to say. Yes, that's
Great,
true.
because I was paying attention. So I'm going to ask you one question. And we are in the question and answer session. We've segued, right? And thank you so much for answering vulnerably. Thank you so much for also speaking very apt about certain things. If you could give one advice to your younger self, or to the women who are currently struggling with failure or self doubt, which from the sessions we had yesterday, it has been a predominant theme where women who are equipped still doubt themselves in a lot of ways and will not take up roles that men would do without even proper certification. So if you could speak to the younger version of yourself and to the women who are struggling with failure or that mentality of self-doubt, what truth would you want them to add to their own truth?
I think for everything, one thing that I would like to give a message is always remember that nothing is permanent, everything is transient. This too
Mm,
shall pass.
mm,
And till date, I believe that. So, Almighty has created us. There is bouts of melancholia and there's bouts of humor. Even you are very happy now, it's not going to live forever. And so
yeah.
is the. So, I, at one time when I was young and I was facing those challenges, at one point in time, it did come to me because I was also coping with my mother's demise. That
Mm-hmm.
probably I'll give up. I'll not be able to continue or withstand. But that time, my family, my husband,
Yeah.
supported me a lot. And in Pfizer, like I said, they were the only organization who were giving roles to women. A couple of my friends were still my friends. They came as a very strong support. And
Mm,
for a moment, I flickered, but later I bounced back. So I shouldn't have even thought that. Now, when I look at that, I'm very fierce. I feel bad. Why did I ever think of it? But thankfully, I am a firm believer of Almighty and His plans. So He brought me back, and that's how I bounced back. So that's one advice I would like to tell any young woman: have self belief. We
mm.
are we are capable of doing equally as people feel some others. And if one person has done it, why not me?
Oh, wow. If one person has done it, why not
Why not
me?
me? Yes. That belief, that resilience, that purpose orientation should give us inner confidence to sail through. So that's what I wanted
Awesome.
to share.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Um, I know you said we should do what we love, right? What if you are doing what you love and it is still not bringing the required amount of finances that is necessary, for keeping body and soul together, or just maintaining a stable and comfortable life as a lady? What advice would you give to someone who is doing what they love, is pressing, trusting in purpose and the almightiness of providence? What advice would you give? Should we leave it alone and go and find something that can fund us, or we should just stick it through?
I guess what like this big 25 years have taught me is people who persist shines. People who
Mm,
do not compromise on hard work shines. Even I've seen people who are very had very high potential lost, but hard workers, diligence, persistence. Keep showing up, keep persisting. When time will come, if you are a true person who is very committed, you will not be denied. Believe me.
mm.
So keep persisting.
So
That's what I
just
would
keep
say.
keep
Keep
pushing.
doing, yes,
Stay.
keep pushing,
Okay.
keep doing, keep understanding why is it not clicking. There must be some reasons. So thinking, thoughtfulness is something that have given me a lot of answers. When I'm alone, I keep thinking that if I'm getting another thing, when we ask for feedbacks, we talk about why did I not do? So feedbacks for failures. What about feedbacks for wins? How many
Oh
times do we
wow.
take feedback for wins? I do it. So, what made people like my speech, or maybe what part of the training, the capability building I do inspires others? That also has to be replicated more. So
Okay.
you become a refined self in that way. That's what I believe.
All right, all right. I hope we're getting a lot from this session, because I definitely am. Thank you so much, Alan, for all the nuggets you dropped. Taking positive feedback for wins, I'll definitely be putting that into play. Have you had in your long history of, in your journey so far, any particular career setback? Dr. Sam is asking, a career setback, somewhere that you failed, that, became a turning point in your professional development. I know you shared the story about, being the only lady then, but now this is your career. Was there any setback that was a turning point? And this is from Dr. Sam. This is from Sam, and he's from the Congo. Yes.
So, if I have to answer that, I've been very fortunate. Those days, those were the days when, for getting elevated from medical representative to the first line manager, people used to go for years together. In Pfizer, those days it was very, very difficult. I passed it in one go. I had never had that kind of a career setback, which is a pedestal for growth. However, there were small, small kind of challenges that came up, like I spoke earlier. But that again, being human, you feel bad. I do agree. But then how you cope, how you persist, how you keep inspiring yourself to a bigger purpose should keep you going. And that has happened to me. I rather had personal setbacks, like I spoke about when I lost my mother, then I became a mother myself, and then my husband who has lost his business. Sometimes we had financial challenges, and I was coping very badly with family, newborn, and my sales pressure. But those are times that probably shapes a person, not because I'm a woman, it shapes everyone. So I was
Okay.
also being shaped. And for me, it was more because I was really balancing my family, my newborn, and my career. And thanks to Almighty, He has always been a strong support, and the principles and values which my family have instilled in me kept me going. I
That's
really didn't have that bad career setback. I've been very lucky in that way. Uh,
awesome. Awesome.
yes.
Thank you so much, Sean. And please, I want to see the hearts. the hands. We have come to the end of the first session, and it has been so impactful and inspiring. Thank you. I have learned quite a bit, and I'm sure everyone who has been here from the beginning has learned quite a bit. Now, if you still have some questions in the comment section, she's going to be in the comment section as well, and she'll be taking some of the answers there. But I see the hearts. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much, and
Ayo.
thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
Ibelema, for the questions that you asked. Thank you. From the audience, I think Mr. Ayo and Mr. Sam, and there are a couple of more. I don't remember the names with my age. I'm forgetful now. Please pardon me. Thank you for all your questions. I enjoyed them. Let me tell you.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you so much.